Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Food Fusion 2020. I am your host for today. My name is Rosebud Benitez. And first and foremost, I would like to thank everyone in this hall for allocating time in their busy schedule to attend this event, and especially to our guest who is here today to share something that will give us knowledge about business of foods. So now, with much honor, I would like to call the first speaker, who is the country head of Slow Food Youth Network. Please all welcome Mr. Jam Melchor. Please give him a round of applause.
Today, we talk about the 10 basic skills that students should know in culinary school. Number 1. Sharpen your knives. The first things we need to in culinary school was learn how to chop carrots and onion. The second things, learn how to properly sharpen a knife. Number 2. Use the right peeler for the job. If peeling vegetable feel like it's take forever, it's probably because you're using the wrong peeler. Number 3. Embrace the practice of mise en place. The French term translates to putting in place, and it refers to getting of all your ingredients out. Measure and prepare before you start cooking. Number 3. Number 4. Dry meat and fish with paper towel before you cook. It's extra crispy skin. In fact, you should be drying meat and fish with paper towel before you cook no matter what. Don't default to always cranking up the heat. Even if you want to food in a hurry, wrapping up the heat is too high isn't always the best way. Slowly, aromatic like onion, shallot, or garlic in, in oil over medium-low heat will bring up more flavor, and it will keep from burning and getting better. Number 6. Putting some thought into how to cut your vegetable. Those fancy vegetable cut you see in a nice restaurant. There's a reason behind them. Besides just looking impressive, a smaller cut will cook quicker than big ones. So using mix of both can vary the texture of a dish. A big and veggies cut a diagonal will be dense and thicker, and soft and thinner ends. Number 7. Give yourself enough space up to preparation even if cramped kitchen. Space is tight in restaurant kitchen, especially the one in New York City. Cooks can spend the afternoon preparing for 100 guests is more or more, all from a single cutting board and burner. That's why a big lesson in culinary school is learning how to look well in extremely small space. This applies to home kitchen to give yourself enough space by clearing and countertop everything you're not using. Appliances, flower vase, mail, up you down and forgot about before you start. Clean as you go. You heard it before, but a clean station is also much easier to work in. Wipe down your cutting board after you finish preparing each ingredient. Put pans and utensils in the sink or dishwasher as soon as you're done using them, and wash your hand often. There probably isn't cranky instruction facing your kitchen making sure you do these things, but be vigilant as you would if there were. Number 9. Don't overcrowd the pan. Crowd the pan. Food can't caramelize brown or crowd in a crowded pan. A handful of sliced mushroom cooked in a hot pan with layer of oil will come out brown crisp and deeply flavored. A whole pint and sliced mushroom cooked in the same pan Same oil will come out pale gray, soggy, and less flavorful. And the last one is 10. Get yourself a bench scraper. I often to see beginner cook use their knife scrape whatever they finish chopping across their cutting board and into a bowl. Don't do that. Not only is a big dangerous, but it's also quickly dull your brain instead. That's all. We talk about the 10 basic skills that students should know in culinary art. I hope it's helped. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. John Melchor, for your amazing speech. And now, let's go for our second speaker. He is the Vice President of Program Development and Food. Please welcome Mr. Glenn De La Cruz. Please give him a round of applause.
Good day everyone, I'm your Glenn, your speaker. So today let's talk about food fusion. So food fusion is a form of cooking that combines constructing culinary tradition or techniques into a single dish. There are various forms of food fusion, including regional fusion, which is combines food from different regions or sub-regions. Food mashup are also form of food fusion. This is one the fastest growing food trends from around the world. Food fusion allows to experimentation and freedom in exploring construct flavors and textures. This can take many forms and could be culinary techniques that use ingredients of completely different dish. Other forms of food fusion combine two culinary disciplines evenly to create something new and distinctive. So, food fusion po, sinasabi na to, to experiment and freedom to exploring. So, it means to experiment a new product, to create a new product in a single dish. So, food fusion po, sinasabi doon na to experiment and freedom to explore. So, sabi doon, experiment or to create a new product. One dishes to another dishes to create a new product. So, for example po is pizza. Pizza is a form of food fusion, which is a lot of ingredients that in a single dish. So, pizza and so ngayon po pag-usapan natin when did fusion food start. So the roots of fusion cuisine or food fusion are probably ancient since humans have been changing culinary heritage for centuries. But concept of become popularized in 1970s. Several French chefs began to offer foods that combine traditional French food with Asia cuisine, especially food from the Vietnam and China. So, nagsimula po ang food fusion during 1970s, which is the French chef began to exchange to offer food from the Asian country like like Vietnam and China. So why is food fusion important? So her fusion cuisine is a great way for the innovation in the food. Cultures can help in the world to understand the importance of food in different parts around the world. With their culture, food plays a very important role in everybody's life. So it's important to respect food as a food represent culture. So bakit nga ba importante yung food cuisine? So dito na po yung pumapasok yung sa itong respect. Respect po sa ibang country. So for example po, pupunta ka sa isang bansa. So siyempre hindi natin maiwasan yung kakain. So sa pamagitan po ng food, malalaman natin yung culture nila. Kasi nga, food represent culture. So, yun pong kalagahan ng food sa isang bansa or food cuisine. So, sa panahon po natin ngayon, malaking tulong talaga yung food fusion sa isang business, restaurant. So, sa restaurant po, maraming food fusion or gumagawa sila ng panibagong dish nila. Kasi po alam naman natin na yung mga tao nagsasawa din. So, malaki po talaga yung malaking tulong talaga yung food fusion kasi gumagawa sila ng panibagong dish sa mga tao kasi alam natin na malaki talagang tulong yung food fusion sa business natin. So, marami na rin gumagawa ng mga iba't ibang produkto or iba't ibang flavor. So, di lang po sa Pilipinas, sa buong bansa na po na gumagawa na rin sila ng food fusion. Yung iba mas lalo pa nilang ini-explore yung ginagawa nila. So,
Thank you for your wonderful advice, Mr. Glenn de la Cruz. And now, for our last guest speaker, she is the CEO and President of Agrea Philippines. May we all welcome Ms. Cherry Atiliano. Please give her a round of applause.
My name is Antoinette M. Villamor, your speaker for today, and the topic is all about fusion cuisine and advantage and disadvantage of fusion cuisine. And what is fusion cuisine? In the olden day, people were led by their tradition and culture, as food play a major role in tradition and culture. For the food habit and food recipe were passed on to generation and to generation by the elders. There was no chance with the food the century. We all know that around the world there were many different cultures with different food habits. There are many advantage and disadvantage of fusion cuisine. And the first is advantage of fusion cuisine. Number 1 is fusion cuisine gives a great chance for innovation and creativity. Yung isang recipe ay nabibigyan ng innovation at creativity para mas lalong sumarap yung isang recipe. The next is, it will very ideal for the new generation who looks for a chance and different in all aspect. Sa new generation, yung isang recipe ay mabibigyan mo siya ng new look, new taste, and new texture for food. Next is, it can be very ideal for traveler who travel around the world. Nagiging ideal siya sa mga traveler dahil sa fusion cuisine, nagbibigay siya ng new taste sa isang food. Kumbaga, parang bagong panlasa. Next is, enhance the chance to try world food, give great opinion in the varieties. Nabibigyan mo siya ng bagong opinion doon sa mga classic na recipe. Next is, fusion cuisine will help to identify great idea of chef in culinary. Sa isang chef, kailangan mo ng mga madaming idea sa mga food. Example, kunyari pumunta ka sa isang lugar, tapos may natikman ka ng bagong panlasa. So, by your own, may innovate mo siya and magiging creative dun sa food. And the disadvantage of fusion cuisine is it gives chance for classic recipe to appear. Yung mga classic recipe daw ay may pagkakataon na mawala na lang dahil sa food fusion. Need a well-skilled chef to do in a great way. And next is availability of ingredients might be a little difficult. Yung mga ang disadvantage ng fusion cuisine ay yung sinasabi yung mga ingredients daw ay minsan mahirap siyang hanapin sa market. Next, need a good promotion toward food due to some people are very adept to their food habit. Kailangan daw yun ng isang promotion para dun sa isang food na kailangan. Food toward food to the some people are very advanced to their food habit. The last is, can bring bad expression on the cuisine if ingredients are not used in right manners. Parang magiging bad aspect daw ang ang food kapag yung isang ingredients ay hindi nagamit ng maayos. Nagiging bad expression sa isang food. And that is my topic for today. Thank you for listening for my topic.
Thank you, Ms. Cherry Atiliano, for your loving speech and advice. And now, please join me for welcoming our guest chef for today. So our first chef is the Marketing and PR for Hotel and Restaurant Chefs Association of the Philippines. Please all welcome Chef Jello Gison. Please give her a round of applause.
Good day. Thank you, Miss Host, for introducing me. Again, my name is Chef Cruz from Kineme Restaurant, and the dish that I prepare for you today is spicy laing carbonara. And alam naman natin na ang laing is one of the favorite dish of Filipino, and the carbonara is origin from the Italia, that pasta with a Parmesan cheese or any kind of cheese. Then, the ingredients of our spicy laing carbonara is 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, 150 grams ground pork, 1 teaspoon dried shrimps or hibi, then 1/2 red onion, fine chop, 3 cloves of garlic, fine chop, and 1/2 inch ginger, and 2 chilies, 1/4 taro leaves, 2 cocoa milk, fish sauce for taste, and 1/2 cup of cream milk. And for the pasta is Parmesan cheese and pasta carbonara. So, and this is my spicy laing carbonara. So you can see this fusion of the dishes is look presentable, and this combination of two dishes is very modern because the laing is the favorite of the Filipino, and the carbonara is also one of the favorite dish when pag may mga handaan or birthday yan dito na rin sa Pilipinas, nakasanayan na rin ang carbonara. So pinag-combine ang mga paboritong pagkain katulad ng laing and the carbonara, carbs, and meron na rin siyang dishes, pinagsama na siya sa iisa. So this is the spicy laing carbonara made by Chef Cruz from Kineme Restaurant. I hope you enjoy and you taste this and you like the taste of the spicy laing carbonara. And thank you for coming in the SMX for the food fusion.
Thank you, Chef Jello Gizon, for teaching us some techniques about cooking. And for the last guest chef, she is the director of Petal Craft International and the director of Cake Art International. Please all welcome Chef Henny Season.
Good day, everyone. Every recipe I publish, my goal is to help you become a better and more confident baker. Making from starch doesn't have to be intimidating or difficult. Let's reverse that connotation and put the fun back into our kitchen. I've made many mistakes as a cookbook author, home baker, and food blogger. I've made thousands of mistakes in the kitchen, and there's what I've learned along the way. First, always have the correct butter consistency. Butter is the starting point for a huge amount of baked goods, so it's important to have it prepared as the recipe suggests. The temperature of butter can dramatically affect the texture of baked goods. There are three different consistency of butter that baking recipe typically call for: softened, chilled, or frozen, like in cones and melted. Next, second one is room temperature is the key. Speaking of temperature, if a recipe calls for room temperature, eggs or any dairy ingredients such as milk or yogurt, make sure you follow suit recipe. Don't just do that for fun. Room temperature ingredients emulsify much easier into batter, which creates a uniform texture throughout your baked goods. So, number 3. Read the recipe before the beginning. I feel silly typing this because I can tell you how. Many times I've had complete recipe disaster because I didn't realize a certain step was coming up. Reading ahead will help you know the how, why, where, and when of what you are about to do. It will take you 1 to 5 minutes and can save you from wasting your ingredients and money on filling your recipe product. So number 4 is always have ingredients prepared. Measure your ingredients before starting a recipe. Read throughout the ingredients, then get them prepared on your counter. This very little room for error when begin recipe. This way, you're not scrambling and rushing during the recipe process. And number 5, learn how to measure. This is actually one of the most important baking tips in this page. As you know, is a science. Excellently baking requires precise ratio, proven techniques, and well-tested recipe. Unlike cooking, you can just bake something by throwing some ingredients together. So, number 6 is weight your ingredients. A small kitchen scale is priceless. It is by far the most used tools in my kitchen. A gram or once, it always a gram or once, but a cup isn't always a cup. It is why I offer gram measure my recipe. Again, precious is everything. So number 7, get an oven thermometer. I use my oven so much that the temperature is something off. Yes, the actual oven temperature can be much higher or lower than what the controller says. I'll work with 6 ingredients set of oven. It is the past years, all different brands and over a period of time. Each have been slightly off. So for number 8, keep your oven door closed. You now know how the oven temperature can ruin a recipe. But what can completely throw off the oven temperature? It is consistently open and closing the oven door to speak inside. So number 9, chill your cookie dough. Chilling cookie dough in the refrigerator firms into aft, decreasing the possibility of oven spreading. Chilling cookie dough not only ensure thicker, more solid cookie, but an enhanced flavor as well. So for number 10, for the last, here is my cookie trick. Last baking tips, and it is all about cookie. To keep leftover cookie extra soft, store them with a piece of bread, Have you heard of this before? If storing cookies in container or cookie jar, stick a regular piece of bread in there as well. The cookie will absorb all of the bread moisture, leaving the bread hard and the cookies extra soft, and they stay soft for a days. So that would be all. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Chef Henny Season, for your advice about baking and arts. So everyone, that's all our guest speaker and guest chef for this day. I hope you guys learned a lot and enjoyed this event. Thank you and have a nice day.